Hi guys, it's Lynn here, back again to do another video. Today's video is actually going to be a follow-up from the last video I did, and also a previous video where I did my very first costume review. So if you guys have not seen that, I did a KDA Popstar Ahri costume review after I bought from Cosplay.com. I did this for several reasons, but the biggest just being the fact that when I bought from them, there was not many reviews about their costumes. I didn't even know if they were like a real legitimate company. Like when I bought it, I was like, there's a good chance I might be getting scammed right now. So when I actually did receive the costume and I was fairly happy with it, I thought, you know, what would help a lot of people is if I did a review. So you guys out there could see that this was a real company. The costume was actually made. I did actually receive it, and get kind of like an overview of that. So this was my first costume review. I've never done one before. I felt a little bit awkward, but again, I just wanted to help everyone and let people see what a costume like actually looked like on me. So all of you guys out there who have gone to conventions and cosplay events, no matter how many times someone tells you to put on a costume before the event, wear it around your house, get a feel for it, see if it's going to be comfortable or if you like it, no matter how many times you do that, it never truly compares to wearing it at the event itself and what it feels like to do all those days' activities and wear it for like 3 days or, a full 24 hours, whatever you're at, however long you're there for. And as we all know, even if you think a costume is going to be extremely comfy, sometimes you get to the event and by the end of the day, you have totally done a 180 and changed your mind on that thought. So today's video, I'm going to be let me trim over my words here. I'm going to be doing a two-part video. For number one, I'm going to tell you guys what it was like to actually wear the KDA Ahri costume, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and kind of everything that happened while I was wearing it. And then two, I'm going to be telling you guys about Sakura Con 2019 and kind of my review of that weekend. So it's funny because I feel like you see so many videos of people who are excited to go to conventions or go to events. They're excited about their upcoming costumes, the work in progress. But then after the events, it's kind of like all the energy and motivation gets sucked out of them and you don't really see too many follow-up videos. So I'm hoping this will be kind of a new trend. Okay, so to start off this video, I want to explain that this year's Sakura Con was very different than previous years. In previous years, every Sakura Con weekend, it was like a tradition for me and my girlfriends to all get together and have a girls' weekend in Seattle that we would go to Sakura Con and stay in a hotel somewhere down there and spend time with each other and just kind of like bond together and make fun memories. So I started doing this when I was about 16 years old, like doing the full weekend. And I'm 27 now. I just turned 27. So that's 11 years of doing this tradition. And in between then, we've had friends come and go. We've had friends move to other states. We've had friends, go into school and become busy and, get full-time adult jobs. And so in more recent years, it's kind of slowed down a little bit. There were a few years we didn't go. There was a few years when only a couple friends went. Like it kind of started to change. So this year, I had kind of done something out of the ordinary, and instead, I had invited my spouse to go with me. And this was a really special moment because even though we both enjoy anime and Japanese culture, we both do video gaming, we both read a lot of manga and watch a lot of anime together, I am more of the extroverted one in the relationship, and I love to go out to the conventions, especially Sakura Con, and I love to go to cosplay and all this stuff. But my spouse is a little more introverted in the aspect that he doesn't really go out and do events. He prefers to enjoy it at home, just the two of us. This was the first year that I had finally talked him into going with me, so I was so excited. I wanted to be kind of like his tour guide while I was there. I knew all these really fun things we could go do together. I had a lot of knowledge of like when the event gets busy and how early you need to line up for things and like what panels are the funniest and stuff like that. So I was just really excited to be able to like take him into this world and like have him experience it. So on Friday, we decided to kind of keep the tradition just earlier in the day. So while my spouse went to work, me and my two best friends went down to Seattle and decided to go to Sakura Con together. Again, this year was also different because instead of doing group costumes, I was doing KDA Ahri. Another friend was cosplaying from Naruto, and then my third friend wasn't cosplaying at all. So it was just kind of like a big jumbly mix of what was going on this year. So I had gotten into my KDA Ahri outfit early in the morning. I actually got up like 3 hours early because I was kind of nervous about getting the wig on my head, getting the makeup to look right, like getting all the pieces together. So all together on this costume, I had the wig with ears, I had the bodysuit, I had a pair of dance tights, I had the pleather thigh-high stockings, and I also had a pair of high heels that were modeled after hers. So the costume itself I had bought on procosplay.com. The shoes, the tail, and the jewelry, I actually went on AliExpress and ended up buying all 3 of those things to match the costume. And then I think the dance tights and the pleather thigh-high stockings I had gotten on Amazon because I just needed to find ones that actually fit and look good and that I could get quickly. So after putting everything together, doing my makeup, I was like shocked. I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even look like myself. Like this big blonde wig and the ears sticking out of it and everything with the makeup. I actually used a YouTube makeup tutorial so I could like make sure I was doing it like ultra correctly. So get all into this costume, wait to put on my shoes obviously until I leave because they are heels. But overall, I'm really, really excited to go show this off and I feel pretty good. So instead of doing our usual walk into Starbucks and like order coffee in the morning, which has also kind of been like a girls' tradition that we would do before the convention, we decide to drive through Bigfoot Java, which is like a 24-hour coffee shop here in Seattle. So we drive through it and I get my first comment of the day, which is the lady in the window is asking us like, oh, are you guys going to an event? And we're like, yes, we're going to Sakura Con down in Seattle. And the first comment I actually got was she had asked if my hair was real. So I actually was really excited about that comment because I was like, ooh, that means my wig looks pretty good if they think it's real. And since I had gotten it, I had feathered the bottoms, I had trimmed it up a little bit. I kind of like tried to do some facial framing where you kind of trim the pieces around your face to be just a little bit shorter so it looks more realistic. And then with the darker roots in the hair, I think it actually made it look kind of more like the girls that, you know, dye their hair, but the roots are still pretty dark. So I was really proud. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, I feel so special now. Okay, so let's get into what it was like wearing it at the convention. So I will say there was pros, there was cons, and then there were certain things that were both a pro and a con, so I don't really know whether to put them into the positive or negative category, so you guys can decide as I tell you. The one thing I realized as we were getting there and getting some attention when people see your costume and get excited is that this was the first year that I would be doing a character that was currently very popular. So in past years, I had chosen popular characters like Lara Croft and Katara, but I didn't typically do the costumes the year it was coming out or like really close to the release date. I would do them maybe a few years after it had become a thing. Especially with Lara Croft, I did her costume in 2017, and I think the video game came out in like 2013, maybe even before that. So as you can see, I wasn't really concerned with like what was trendy at the moment. It just so happened that I really liked the KDA Popstar Ahri costume, and I had worn it pretty close to the date it had come out and become like a thing. Also, KDA Popstars, the song, really, really popular on Spotify and also on YouTube and a lot of different platforms. So people like know about these characters. This isn't just like a character that like everyone's kind of heard of. It's like something that was relevant and popular now. So as we get into the convention center, I'm getting calls like, oh, it's Ahri, it's Ahri. And I was like, hi everyone, I'm super goofy. So that was fun. I mean, I really enjoyed having the attention of people knew who I was. As soon as they saw my costume, they knew it was KDA Popstar Ahri. There was no question about it. Very unique costume. So as we're kind of making our way up, you know, the Washington State Convention Center has like a bajillion escalators you got to get up. I think there's like 5 that you have to take just to get up to the shopping hall. as we're going up there, and you know, people are calling me out and looking, and I see a few people like snapping pictures on their phone. I'm like, whatever, that's cool. Outside the shopping center is where I run into my first other League of Legends character, and it's actually a pop star, Akali. And it was a gender bent version, so it was the male version, and I super excited run up to them like, hey, oh my god, I love your costume, that is super cool. He has a backpack on that's like blasting the song. He has these beat sabers in his hands that like light up. And I was like, hey, could we get a picture together? Because I'm thinking, I want this picture and I want to put it on my wall. So we take a picture, my friends like take a picture of us together on my phone. And as we're doing that, a bunch of people run up and they all want our picture. So as soon as we go to walk away, another person would run up and be like, hey, can we get your picture too? Hey, can we get your picture too? So it was like standing there for probably about 4 or 5 minutes, just having people run up and take pictures. So you feel really good when during that experience, you're like, oh, people recognize me, they want my picture. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good now. As we get into the shopping hall, I start to realize I'm getting a little overwhelmed. So what was happening is probably every 20 or 30 feet, I was getting stopped and asked if I would take a picture with someone, or if someone could take their picture like of me, like me posing. And I'm like, this is cool, I'm enjoying this. You know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes goes by and it keeps happening, and I'm realizing like, oh, this is a really popular character. Like a lot of people are wanting to take a picture. And I feel kind of bad because my friends are looking at me like, really? Do we have to wait again? Do we have to wait again? And so finally I'm like, you know what, just you guys go and do your shopping, and if someone wants a picture, I'll stop, but I'll run to catch back up with you. And that seemed to kind of work out fairly well. So that was one of the negatives, was even though you do a really popular character, it also means you're going to be spending a lot more time and energy like with other people taking your picture and posing for them and kind of giving like the fans what they want, I guess. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just I guess I didn't really think about that before I went. So I should have like prepared myself for that a little bit better. Okay, so let's talk about how the costume itself held up while I was there. A few things went wrong. Number one, before we went to the AMV contest, we decided to stop at Cheesecake Factory and get some lunch, and luckily it's the first day of con, not too busy in there. And as we get there, I realize problem number one, I need to go to the bathroom, and I have about 3 layers on me that I have to get off, including a tail that cannot be accidentally dropped in the bathroom. So go to the bathroom. It's at Cheesecake Factory, very, very tiny bathroom stall, you know, and I'm in there and I'm trying to slowly take off my bodysuit while holding my tail, while also holding like my thigh highs, and it's just like a mess. There's like so many pieces and so much going on, and like I knew this was gonna happen when I went, but I didn't realize it could be so much of an issue, especially when you're in such a small space. So what I ended up doing is I just did everything like in slow motion. So I like held the tail, and I like, you know, kind of unzipped it and kind of made sure it didn't fall on the bathroom floor. Well, the first problem kind of arose when I went to pull my costume back up. As I'm pulling my dance tights up, for a minute I forget. And when you forget, you make mistakes. But I had at the time, as you can see right now, my nails are nice and short. I'm currently making them healthy and growing them out. But at the time, I had acrylics on, and I had them done in Ahri style long nails, which are kind of sharper kitty cat claw style, so they're kind of pointy on the ends. I had a brief moment where I totally forgot about this, and as I went to pull up the dance tights, I grabbed onto them, and as I went to pull, my nails actually went through them. And it hurt. I heard a big and I went, oh no, I've just ripped something. Now I'm scared to look in the mirror because I'm scared to see how bad it is. So I realized I have to put everything on, and I really need to go over to the mirror, and I take a look, and luckily, the rip where it was, even though it was on my butt and thigh, it was very unnoticeable unless someone was looking directly at it. So that was mistake number one, but I did that on my own. So as a caution, yes, dance tights, even though they are really, really strong, if you have really sharp nails or anything sharp on you, they can still rip it. Okay, problem number two, and this one I should have known about. I guess I just didn't test it enough before I wore the actual costume altogether, and this is why it's always good to test. When you buy thigh-high stockings, they come with a little rubber piece around the top, and what it does is it creates friction. So like your thigh and the rubber piece kind of stick together so they can't really slide down. When you're wearing dance tights and you're wearing thigh highs on top of those dance tights, it's not the same as wearing it on skin. So when I had the dance tights on and I had the thigh highs on top of it, they didn't create any friction. The rubber on the dance tights was like silk, it just slides right off. So as I would walk, they would slowly start to sink down throughout the day. And so every time I had to stop to take a picture, I had to stop and adjust my entire costume. I had to pull the stockings up and I had to pull the thigh highs up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exhausting. I did not realize this would happen, and it was pretty bad. About halfway through the day, we ended up going to the cosplay repair station so I could get some double-sided tape, and they were so sweet, so kind, so helpful. I definitely recommend going to the cosplay repair station if you ever have an issue. They helped me tape my stockings up, and after that it was perfect. If I had known in the morning that would happen, I definitely would have taped them up. It would have saved me so much time and energy and just trouble. And then let's talk about the third thing that happened. Number 3 was pretty bad. Okay. So as I told you guys, I was wearing the KDA heels, which I bought on AliExpress. They're actually really comfortable heels, and I was very surprised because I don't really wear high heels all that much. I'm one of those people that always wears flats, always wears tennis shoes, sometimes barefoot, but hardly ever heels. And I was committed. I was like, I'm gonna wear these all day. I will take breaks if I have to, but throughout the day it was pretty good. Towards the end of the day, I started to notice foot pain. And I was like, oh, it's probably the heels from, walking on them all day. And the plan was at a certain time in the evening, I would leave my friends and I would go walk and meet my spouse at the hotel that we had booked for the weekend. And then we would change or whatever and go out to the evening events together. So as we're getting closer to the date when I'm gonna go meet him, probably the last hour, that's when the pain starts to get pretty bad. At first, it was like some light, foot pain, then it started to get worse, then it started to feel sharp, and then I was getting to the point where every 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I have to sit down. And I felt really bad because I know my friends wanted to keep going, but I was like, guys, I'm dying here, my feet hurt so bad. Well, when you're wearing dance tights and thigh-high stockings and shoes, it's not like you can just take the shoes off and kick them off, because then I'd also have to take off the thigh-highs and everything too. So I just tried to push through it. At the time when I had to go meet my spouse at the hotel, as I'm walking down Seattle streets, that's when the pain started to become unbearable. And my thoughts were, should I just take off the shoes and just walk in my stockings through the street? And I was like, no, because I don't want to destroy the stockings and everything on the bottom. So as I'm walking, my steps get slower and slower. And as I get into the hotel lobby, I'm like, I need to take them off. That's all I can think in my head. It's I am in so much pain right now. As soon as I get up to the hotel room and I go in, the first thing I do is run in and rip my shoes off, rip my thigh highs off, and take off my dance tights underneath. Now what actually was happening is it actually was not the shoe that was causing the pain. So if you guys buy these shoes, don't worry, it is not the shoe. What had happened was the thigh-high pleather stockings I had gotten. Now, these thigh-high stockings are, on the bottom, they're sock style, so they cover your entire toes and you just pull them up and slip them on. What I didn't realize is that they're really tight in the toes, so tight that instead of my feet being this, whatever your toes going like this, it was causing them to kind of squish all my toes together like that, they were kind of pointy at the bottom. Now, earlier in the day, not so bad. Throughout the day, constantly walking on them, your feet are going tapping and pushing, and so it's kind of squishing your toes together. Well, I found out a week after the convention when I went to take my toenail polish off and redo it, as I usually do every week. Many bad things had happened. The first thing that had happened was that both of my big toenails actually had completely gotten bruised, and they were black and blue bruising underneath. I had no clue. So obviously the pain was my body trying to tell me, hey, you're being stupid, you should take these off. The second thing that happened was that my toes actually had, the nail had cracked, like it had gotten so much pressure that it actually broke my nail like on the edges. And I was like terrified. I was like, should I go see a doctor, or like, do I need to like tape up my feet or something? But over time they eventually healed. So it took like a month or so before the bruising like went away. And I think I still have like a tiny bit of bruising. It's not quite as bad, but just so you guys know, it can be dangerous to wear a cosplay costume. And I feel so stupid because I just kept thinking in my head, like, it's just the shoes, it's just the shoes. But I should have known, like, shoe pain will never be that severe. It should never hurt that bad. The things we do for our cosplay costumes. So overall, this costume was amazing. I had such a fun time wearing this. I thought it actually turned out really, really well. Like, I look back at my pictures, and the only thing that bugs me is the thigh highs not staying up. There are a few pictures where you can tell I had pulled them up, but I hadn't pulled them up evenly. So like one is slightly higher than the other. The rest of the costume held up amazingly. I was really, really happy with the way it turned out. It was quite a bit of work, so I don't know if I would ever wear this for like a full day event again, but maybe for like a half day or for like a shorter event, yes, I totally would. So the rest of Sakura Con was a really, really fun experience. The night when I went to go meet my spouse and we decided to go out and do the evening panels and events, of course I took off that KDA Ahri costume so fast. It was like totally off of me really quick because, you know, the shoes and stockings were so uncomfortable. So that night when we went back, I actually was in a sweatshirt and workout clothes or whatever was comfy at the moment. Saturday is when I decided to dress up as the original Skin Ahri in her nice red outfit. And where did I buy this outfit? AliExpress. I am currently very obsessed with them. And this costume was actually kind of a funny story because I found a costume that was like $27 and I was like, I wonder how bad it looks in real life. I should buy it and find out. And I got it and I was actually like, you know, this isn't too bad. This is not like as bad of quality as I thought it was gonna be. I kind of altered like a few things on it, and the sizing was ultra weird, but at the same time it was wearable. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna dress up as this on Saturday. So Saturday morning, got up early, put in my hair extensions, did all my makeup, you know, got the little whiskers drawn on. I actually had a pair of ears and a tail made by an Etsy person, an Etsy artist. Her name is Moki's Den, Mowyks Den, and I think she's based out of Germany, and awesome experience. I 100% recommend her. The tail came, and it is this massive fluffy white tail. I really wanted to do the 9 tails, but I just thought, you know, I want to be comfy, and if I have this massive amount of tails, it's going to be really heavy, it's going to be in my way all day, so I'm just going to do 1. So quick note about this is that Ahri is my spouse's very favorite character. He is actually the one that plays League of Legends. He is the one that is very much into it. So I kind of did this as, you know, kind of something for him too. Like, hey, come experience my cosplay and convention world, and I'm gonna do your favorite character, and this will be really fun. It also gave us a really good way to interact with all the other League of Legends people and like, take pictures of them and just kind of like know that there's other fans out there of things that you enjoy. So I took him out all of Saturday and we had just such an awesome time. I think it really opened his eyes too to the fact that a lot of people that go to conventions are not like your average nerdy geeky person. A lot of people that go to them are people that work, you know, 9-to-5 jobs, maybe in the business world, whatever, and they have this fun creative side life that people don't normally know about. And so I think for that it was kind of it was inspiring to him that you can enjoy like your niche hobbies, and that's totally fine. A lot of people do it and they're really involved in it. So Saturday was so much fun, such a good time. I took him to a bunch of really funny panels that day. We enjoyed the cosplay competition, which I was like, you know, if you're going to Sakura Con, I have to take you to this because that's like one of the biggest events there. So that was really fun. And then Sunday, of course, we just kind of spent the day in our cozy clothes doing the last minute shopping and doing the last minute whatever we wanted to go do. So overall, Sakura Con was a really awesome success this year. I am so glad I went with my spouse and got to like experience that with him. And at the same time, I'm really glad I branched out and did kind of these costumes that I wouldn't have normally done, just because I don't normally buy things online. So it was a really good experience. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video and following back up, and for giving me over 400 views on my KDA Popstar costume video. Like, that is awesome. I've never done a costume review. I thought like maybe 5 people would watch it, and I was like, yeah, I helped 5 people. And then I got like 400 views, and I was like, oh my gosh, who are all these people? So anyways, I'll be back again to talk to you guys more about different subjects, so I hope you keep watching, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.